Today's video is titled Closing Tips, Techniques, and Strategies for MLM Reps. What I really want to do in this training is help you become more confident and know what to say so that you can transition someone from being an interested prospect into a paying customer or a distributor. Real quick disclaimer up front, all views in this training are my own based on my own opinion. We can agree to disagree. I'm just going to talk about what's worked well for me, and individual results will vary. This is the purpose of the training. I want you to learn how to close. I want you to be able to sell more products, recruit more reps, grow your business, achieve your goals, and most importantly, teach other people how to do the same thing. Real quick introduction. As a network marketer, you must be able to look someone in the eyes, ask them to take out their credit card and make a purchase. If that scares you, you're not going to survive very long in this business until you learn how to do that. Just about anyone can invite a prospect to a presentation, but most reps don't get the results they want in the business because they don't know how to close the prospect. They don't know how to transition the prospect from being a prospect to being a paying customer or distributor. And here's the truth. If you don't know how to close a sale, you're going to show a lot of presentations. You're going to talk with a lot of people, but no one's going to sign up or buy from you. Trust me, I've been there. I've done that. Learning how to close is not something anyone naturally knows how to do. It is a learned skill. Very few people who join our industry have mastered this skill when they first join the industry. It takes some time. It takes some practice, but you can get there. It's something that anyone can learn how to do. So what is closing? First and foremost, it's not about pressure. It's not about hype. It's not about locking someone up in a room, turning up the heat, making them sweat. It's really about leading your prospect to a favorable decision. It's asking them for the sale. Most people put off making a decision. Most people are procrastinators. They don't want to make the wrong decision, so they stall. It's your job to help lead them to a decision. But just to clarify, there's a difference between leading someone to a decision and pressuring them to sign up or buy. I am not a fan of hard selling, of pressuring people, of using hype. I think it's amateurish, it's unprofessional. It's one of the reasons our industry gets such a bad rap. Also, if you need to pressure or convince someone to join your team or buy your product, they're going to end up quitting and they're going to end up resenting you in that entire process. Your real job is to lead people to a decision. Your job is to give your prospects enough exposures and information so they can make an informed decision. You must also close the deal. This happens with an effective selling process and a good follow-up. The only purpose of following up with someone is to give them additional information and added exposures to move them one step closer to making a buying decision. In other words, closing someone and sponsoring them into the business is a process that takes time. You can't expect someone to just watch a presentation, chat with you one time, run home, whip out their credit card, go buy the most expensive pack and get signed up as a customer or a distributor. That's not going to happen. At least in 99% of the case, that's not going to happen. And just so you know, most of the people I personally sponsor, and I sign up a lot of people, they take anywhere from 30 to 90 days. Some people take 6 to 12 months from the time they have their initial exposure to the time they make a decision. Everyone is on a different time window, and your job is to walk them along the closing process so that when the timing does become right, they make a decision. So these are my 8 closing tips. We're going to go through each of these in more detail. They are: develop a selling process, the A/B close, assume the sale, third-party validation, ask yes questions, expect objections, tell people why they should join, and ask for the sale. Let's get into this. Number 1, develop a selling process. The first thing that you need to put in place is a sequential process that you're going to use from the time you make your initial exposure to the time someone watches a presentation, to how many times you follow up with them, and what you're going to say and do in each one of those follow-up processes. You want to really systematize this. You want to write this down so it makes sense to you. So here's just an example. You do your pre-qualify and invite. You then show a presentation via a third-party tool like a video, webinar, a conference call. Maybe you then give the person a product sample. You then do a three-way call with your sponsor or upline. You bring your prospect to a live event, and then they sign up. Maybe that's your process. Maybe your process is more drawn out than that. Maybe it's simpler, but you need to define and determine what your selling process is going to be for your business. And I like to walk my prospect through a follow-up process every 24 to 48 hours. And what I'm really doing is I'm giving them more information each time I follow up with them. So at some point they can be 100% informed and they can make a good decision. Now, your follow-up process might take 3 days. In most cases, it's going to take a week to 4 weeks from the time of that initial exposure to the time they become a distributor or a customer. That's okay. And your number one goal, let me just say this real nice and slow so it sinks in. Your number one goal is to sell your prospect on going through your entire selling process. You don't care whether they join or buy. What you care is, do they go through all of the steps in your selling process? Because if they do, there's a high likelihood many of them, maybe not all, but many of them will become a paying customer or a distributor. Number two is the A/B close. This is one of my favorite ways to close people. Basically, you're just giving them two options. As an example, would you like to order the skincare set or the smart coffee with your first order today? Or you could say something, would you rather do this to make money or simply be a customer? Or you could say, would you rather pay wholesale or retail with your product purchase today? So now you've done the A/B close. You've given them two options, a A/B close. In most cases, you don't want it to be a yes/no decision. You want it to be one of either two yeses. So would you rather buy the skincare or would you rather buy the smart coffee with your first purchase today? That's a lot better than saying, would you like to order the coffee or nothing at all today? When you give them an out, in many cases, they're going to choose the out. So don't give them an out. Give them two yes options. Let them pick the one that works for them. This works really, really well for me. I encourage you to do the same thing as well. Next thing. Assume the sale. This is where a lot of people mess up. You probably heard that a dog can smell fear. Well, your prospect can also smell your fear. And you really want to have the mindset, you really want to think, you really want to act as if the person you're talking to is going to buy or join your business. By doing so, you become positive, you become optimistic, you have that abundance mentality. If you're thinking negative thoughts, your prospect is going to sense that. Of course, not everyone's going to buy or join. We all know that, but you should assume that they will. You must also come across as confident and poised. People are buying you much more than they're buying the products or the business. Also, no one wants to buy something or work with someone who's needy or desperate. People like the confident person. I believe the law of attraction, it's always working either for us or against us. Positive attracts, negative repels. So choose your thoughts wisely. Choose what you think wisely, because it's going to come across to your prospect. Number four is third-party validation. This is one of the easiest ways to close your prospect. What you do in this example is you get your prospect in touch with either your plugged-in upline, your coach, a video, a recording, a webinar, a live event, a conference call, anything but yourself. And what they're doing is that's giving you and the business validation because it's something other than you communicating with your prospect. Hopefully that makes sense to people. People who know you really well, they're much more likely to listen to someone else about the business than they are to listen to you about the business. Unless you have a lot of business credibility, which most people don't have, it's hard for the people you know to take you seriously about a business. You probably heard that saying, it's hard to be a prophet in your own land. It's true. But when you leverage a tool, when you leverage another person, when you leverage a coach, that's going to give you that third-party validation, which means your prospect is going to connect with them. They're going to validate you. They're going to validate the business. They're going to give you and the business credibility to your prospect, which is going to increase their likelihood of buying or joining. Number five. Ask yes questions. This is one of my favorite tips to close more prospects. Don't give them a no question. Don't give them a yes, no question. They will always pick the no. You want to get your prospect ideally to say yes 2 or 3 times before you get to that final closing decision. If you can subconsciously and consciously get them saying yes, they're going to get in that yes mode, and they're going to have a higher likelihood of saying yes when you ask them to buy or join. So here are a couple questions you could ask your prospect to get them saying yes. Buying from your own store makes sense, doesn't it? Having a good side hustle during these crazy times makes sense, doesn't it? Saving money on your taxes by having a home-based business makes sense, doesn't it? No one's going to say no to those questions. Now, you don't have to use the exact same questions that I just provided, but come up with some yes questions that you can use as part of your closing process with your prospects. Number 6. Expect objections. Here's the truth. When someone doesn't have objections, it scares me to death. I expect my prospect is going to have objections. It is normal. Keep in mind, an objection, it's simply a request for more information. It does not mean they're not interested. Very few people that you talk to are never going to have any objections. Most people are going to have at least 1 or 2 or 3 objections for whatever reason, whether they're legit or not. So some of the most common objections, they include, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, is this a pyramid? I need to think about it. I need to talk to my spouse about it, or the products seem too expensive. Those are probably the 6 objections that you will hear 99.9% of the time when you get an objection. It'll be one or multiple of those 6. Do yourself a favor, get with your plugged-in upline and learn the rebuttals for each of these objections. Memorize them so you know how to handle them, you know how to deal with them when they're presented to you. Anticipate objections. Once again, it's a natural part of the buying process. There's only a few objections you're going to get, and I like to use the feel, felt, found method to overcome all of my objections. As an example, if someone says, I don't have the time. Hey, Jim, I know how you feel. When I was first introduced to this business, I was busy too. I had a lot going on, but here's what I found. If I didn't change anything in my life, I would always be busy. I'd never have the time for things that I wanted to do. And that's why I joined this as a business. So hopefully that makes sense as an example to you about how to use the feel, felt, found to overcome objections. Number 7. Tell people why they should join. Let them know what's in it for them. What are the benefits that they get by joining your team? Here's an example that you could use. When you join our team today, I'm going to help you build one leg in your business for you. That means half your business will be built for you. You'll also get access to our team's secret marketing materials, our Facebook group, our weekly training calls and webinars, and much more. We'll teach you how to advertise your business properly so you don't need to bug friends and family. You could also tell people, hey, if you join our team today, I am willing to spend an unlimited amount of time with you to help you get your first 5 people signed up in the business. I'll also give you 200 free leads, a copy of our team training manual, and access to our team's Facebook group. Those are a couple examples of what you could tell. Now, modify it for your business, modify it for your situation, but make sure you let people know what they're getting if they decide to join with you as a customer or a distributor. Number 8. Ask for the sale. If you don't do anything except this tip out of this entire training video, you're going to sign up a lot more reps and customers. You have to ask for the sale. Even if someone wants to buy or join, they are not going to do it 99% of the time unless you specifically ask them to buy or join. I like to use this simple phrase that I learned from Dale Calvert, and all I like to ask people is, what questions do you need me to answer before we get you started today? Or, hey, Joe, what is a better fit for you today? Signing up as a customer and paying retail, or pursuing this as a business, or being a wholesale customer? Which product would you like to place with your first order today, Mary? Would you rather try the Smart Coffee or our natural and organic skincare set? Which one makes more sense to you? Hey, Joe, how about we take 5 minutes and get your account created right now and place your first product order? Hey, Tony, what questions do you need me to answer before we get you started today? Hey, Seth, It sounds like this would be a really good fit for you. How about we take 2 minutes and we create your account right now? That is how you ask for the sale. None of those examples included pressure. None of those examples included hype, but I asked my prospect to buy or join. And as a result, a good percentage of them are going to do that. Keep in mind, there is no secret closing phrase. You just have to find something that works for you, something you're comfortable with, and get in the habit of using it with every person you talk to. You will miss 100% of the sales you do not ask for. So make sure you're asking for the sale. Do not anticipate or expect or wait for people just to go home on their own and sign up and buy on their own. It's almost never going to happen that way. Here are some closing scripts just to give you some ideas about things you could do for closing. So this is my fear of loss close. Hey, Tony, if you place an order right now, I can apply a gift card towards your purchase, which will save you $25 right now. I only have one gift card left, so you'll have to act right now. How does that sound? So basically what I've done is I've given Tony a fear of loss. That's going to result in more closes. A summary close. Hey, based off our conversation today, Mary, I know the black seed extract and the Nourish would be a good fit for you. How about we take 2 minutes and I help you place your first order? Pretty simple. Question close. Tony, is there any reason why we can't place your order right now so you can have these products within the next few days? That's a question close. Assumptive close. Based off our conversation, Tony, does the Nova coffee sound like it would be a good fit for you? I can even give you a $25 discount if you order right now. How's that sound? Here are a few more closing scripts. The takeaway close. Tony, I only have one $25 gift card left. Would you like to be the one to use it right now and save $25 on your order? Or would you rather have me give it to someone else? The soft close. If I took 2 minutes and helped you create your account and place your first order right now and offered you a $25 discount for doing so, is there anything that would hold you back from doing that? And my favorites, what question you need me to answer before we get you started today? And Tony, this sounds like it'd be a good fit for you. How about we take 3 minutes, set up your account and place your first order? I even have one coupon left that will save you $25. Now here's the secret. Whenever you ask any of these closing scripts, whenever you use them, after you ask, you have to be quiet. Do not say a word. Even if you sit in silence for 45 minutes with the person, that's fine. Do not say a word. You are waiting for them to respond. You have asked for the sale. If you interrupt, if you keep talking, you're going to lose them. So you have to stop, and then you just have to wait and listen until your prospect responds. In conclusion, these are my best closing tips and techniques for network marketers. Knowing how to close your prospects is a very important skill if you want long-term success in this industry. Keep in mind, you do not have to be an expert right now or when you first get started. You probably won't be. You can learn and develop these skills in a relatively short amount of time by getting into action mode and by practicing. Also, please understand, most people will not make a decision on their own. It's your job as their sponsor, as their advisor, to walk them through your entire selling process and give them enough information so they can make an informed decision. And whatever you do, don't forget to ask for the sale. By following the advice in this training, you should be well on your way to success in your business.
Remember this one. You will learn more by doing something for an hour than you will about studying it for 20 hours. Let me say that again. You'll learn more about something by doing it for an hour than you will about studying it for 20 hours. So get into activity mode, learn by doing, and realize you're going to look like a fool for a little bit in the business until you learn the basics. Everyone starts out that way. You don't have to be perfect to start, but you're never going to be good unless you do start. So with that, that concludes today's training. I hope it helped. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. That'll help our channel out a lot. Check out the links and the resources in the description box below this video. And please check out my other videos too. With that, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.